How's it going, everybody? Since we already reviewed Snake Eyes, Destro, and Roadblock on the channel, why don't we continue our G.I. Joe series with the Special Missions Cobra Island G.I. Joe Classified Series Wayne Beachhead Sneeden. The front of the package looks like all the rest. It's blue, it's got that G.I. Joe Classified logo, except for you got the Special Missions logo and Beachhead right here on the other side. This side of the box has some Beachhead artwork, and this is what the other side looks like. And we can see here that this is figure number 10. And the top looks like this, another 10 and a star. And on the back, instead of getting that poster-esque G.I. Joe character artwork that we've gotten on all the rest of them, instead, this time we have an image of Cobra Island with two specific targets with a yellow circle around them. And here's a barcode. Does anyone need that still? Now let's open them up. You ready to come on out and face the world? Of course you are. You're a G.I. Joe. Okay, so here's Beachhead, and you'll notice that I actually got the brown-eyed version. More on that in just a second. He also came with this here military hat. You can actually just pop it on his head like that, although the paint on mine is really, there's something going on there. Like, they went back and tried to touch something up, and it is so noticeable. Also, I'm not just grubby. This is actually grease that I can't get off my fingers. I was fixing my middle boy's scooter, and well, that's the product of it. He also comes with this backpack, which is, if I'm not mistaken, pretty reminiscent of what he came with back in the day. There's also a little sidearm. That just fits perfectly right down here in the holster. He's also got this here crossbow that fits perfectly right into this little hole in his backpack here like that. You just stick his handle right in there and boom. It just, as soon as you could say Bob's your uncle, Susan's your aunt, blue light special at Kmart, ta-da, fits right in the backpack. And he's also got a little boot knife, and it fits right down there in the sheath. And finally, he has what looks like some kind of scoped automatic rifle. And that just fits in there like that. Let's give him his crossbow too. All right. Cool beans. And this is everything that we got in the package. He's wearing it, he's using it, and it's on his head. Ta-da! And here's one last little look at all the accessories together with a grand total of 6. Okay, now let's strip him down and have a better look at Beachhead himself without all the accessories. Well, we'll leave the sidearm and the boot knife there, but his backpack and obviously his gun and his crossbow are going to be gone, so we can take a better look at the actual figure itself. Now, I know that the original Beachhead figure that I owned when I was a kid, which I can actually still remember fairly vividly, didn't look exactly like this. Which is to be expected, because none of the G.I. Joes that have came out recently look exactly like their older counterparts. And that's okay. I really like what they've done with this figure. Getting this guy in hand and looking at him up close to the camera under the lights here, you can really tell that Hasbro knows exactly what they're doing, because they have to capture the essence of the original figures while also catering to today's current collector sensibilities as far as articulation and sculpted detail. They know that we expect quite a bit, and I just love it. I mean, just look at this arm here. They got the pocket, and they got the stripes and the texture of the sweater, a different color green here. It's just, I feel like Hasbro really knows what they're doing. They've really got a good handle on the direction for this figure line, because I can look at this, I can tell right away that this is Beachhead. There would be no doubt. Even I could have never seen this figure before. It could have never had a G.I. Joe label on it, and I would still know this is Beachhead. I really like Beachhead's face sculpt as well. I love the look of his balaclava going over his face there. His eyes look really intense and badass. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows where he wants to be, and he's got a mission, and he's sticking to it. Also, there is a blue-eyed variant you can find out in the wild, so if that tickles your fancy, you can try to keep your eyes out for that one as well. Here he is with Snake Eyes and Roadblock, and they're all different sizes. Roadblock obviously is just massive, and Snake Eyes is actually just a little bit smaller than Beachhead. And as for that articulation that he's got, well, you know he's going to have that basic Hasbro G.I. Joe articulation with the head being on a ball peg and having a hinge right there, which is really quite fantastic. And you've also got the articulation there in the neck, so there's a lot of head and neck movement. You got the butterfly hinge right here, you got the rounded hinge up here in the armpit, you have the bicep swivel, the double jointed elbows. That's about the crunch you're going to get out of them. The spinny wrist on a little hinge there. Up in the body here, I'm sure there are articulation points, but don't be expecting to use them because of this great big huge rubber vest, although you will get articulation out of the waist like that because they have that rounded tornado waist. You have the drop hinges right here that go right out like that, and they're also ball joints too, BTW. You've got your, do they have the the thigh cut? I can't remember. Yep, there's the line right there. So he does have a, oh, there it goes. Yep, he's got a thigh cut as well. He's got the to be expected, oh crap, I broke his foot off. I guess you could tell that he also has articulation at the top of the boot, as I was saying. And he has the as to be expected double jointed knee articulation. Let's try that again and try to make it so his foot doesn't fall off. There we go. And also right down on the ankle of his boot there, he's got a rounded hinge that also benefits from an ankle pivot. Now, having reviewed 4 of these G.I. Joe figures, I can tell you that I do have one basic critique, and that's the fact that their limbs are a little bit, you know, soft and mushy. And that's actually typical of the Hasbro Marvel Legends as well. They actually had the exact same softer plastic, and it can be a double-edged sword. It can actually give your figures durability. That means, you know, they're not going to be as brittle and they're not going to snap, but it can also mean that they're going to get spongier quicker and they might actually lose some of their stability and posability. So after all this, I can confidently tell you, I think that this Beachhead is absolutely fantastic. Worth the price? Well, if you live in the States and you can manage to get to Target before a scalper and buy them, then I say yes. I had an American friend who was nice enough to find this, send it to me. However, if you don't pick them up when you see them in the wild, you know what's going to happen. We've been through this before. A ditey scalper is going to buy it and every other version of Beachhead that's there and put the listing on eBay. Some of the really dumb ones put all the Beachheads in the exact same listing, effectively advertising to the world that they're a ditey scalper. So if you couldn't tell, I really like it and I wish you all the best in your treasure hunt to go find this guy out in the wild as well. Anyway, that's all for now. Have a super awesome day and take care. Yo, Joe!